Thank you, Helen. 3 decades ago, a Wilmington woman was brutally murdered. Today, her killing is a rallying cry for hate crime legislation here in North Carolina. A new film is telling her life and why we need to remember Talana Krieger. This is producer and director Tab Ballas to tell us more. I'm so glad that you could come and share this with us. We've been following this story for a long time. I've talked to you about this before. Talana's story is just gripping. Just tell us about what happened to her.
So sadly, in 1990, the humanity of this 32-year-old woman who was a carpenter, who loved animals, who was very loved by her friends, her humanity got lost in the horror of her murder. She was manually disemboweled by a long-distance truck driver who met her at a local bar called the Parkview Grill. And so the mission of this film has been to eliminate the humanity of this woman. We have finally, after years, gotten photos from her childhood from a relative that's cooperating. And so we are going to, this Saturday, tell the story of who this woman was and then why her death is still important 30 years later.
First of all, 1990 to me doesn't seem like that long ago, but when I think back about it being 30 years, to remember her is, I think what you're saying is important as a person. You know, we talk about her crime and how grisly the whole thing was and how that she was found in a field and how this actually happened. And the person who committed the crime was caught.
Yes,
yes. But to remember her as a person and talk about that, I think is important. Is that what the movie does?
Yes. I think part of the problem, Randy, was that we've hopefully all learned a lot in 30 years. In 1990, I think even the media didn't know how to respectfully tell the story of a lesbian woman and who she was. We know local media did the best job they could, but I think now there's a lot more information, and really the lives and stories of all of us need to be visible, and maybe that's why it's still relevant in 30 years later, and particularly because we still don't have, sadly, hate crime protections for LGBTQ people in North Carolina.
Which is still unbelievable to me. I can't believe that that hasn't happened. So this movie is kind of like a way to shine a light on that as well. Tell me about that.
So we will go through several parts of the film. We'll talk about the crime itself after who Talana was, and then the trial, and then we talk about the fact that at the time the people who loved Talana had a hard time getting a church to agree to host the funeral. They were rejected by many churches. We're hosting the premiere at the Episcopal Church of the Good Shepherd in downtown Wilmington because in 1990 that was the only church that would agree to host this funeral. So we're honoring that congregation with the premiere.
Wow. Wow, things have changed and stayed the same so much. You know, now churches, I think most of them would let that happen, but still no hate crime legislation.
Exactly.
Wow. So when and where is this weekend?
So this Saturday, February 22nd, 7:00 p.m. at the Church of the Good Shepherd, 515 Queen Street in downtown Wilmington. It's a free event open to the community.
Yeah, good to remember that. This is free. You want everybody to see this. I think it's fantastic. I'm glad this is coming to fruition for you after all this. This is a big deal for you, a lot of hard work.
Thank you, Randy. And thank you for all the good work in the community that WWAY does.
Oh, well, thank you very much. All right, everybody, you heard it here. It is this Saturday. Check it out. It's called Parkview. Thanks again, Tab.